Good morning everyone. This is class 12th, subject chemistry, chapter number 9, coordination compounds, lecture number 1. In this lecture, I will be discussing some basic terms pertaining to coordination compounds, and after that I will discuss Werner theory of coordination compounds. In the previous unit, we learned that transition metals forms a large number of complex compounds in which metal atoms are bound to a number of anions or neutral molecules. In modern terminology, such compounds are known as coordination compounds. So, coordination compounds are defined as the compounds in which the central atom is linked to a number of ions or neutral molecules by coordinate bonds. That is, in coordination compounds, we have one central atom and that central atom is surrounded by a number of ions or neutral molecules via coordinate bonds. So here are the examples of coordination compounds. First is NiCO4, in which nickel is central atom and this central atom is surrounded by carbon monoxide, which is a neutral molecule. Also, chlorophyll and vitamin B12 are coordination compounds of magnesium and cobalt. So these are some examples of coordination compounds. Now next is type of complexes. So there are three type of complexes: cationic complex, anionic complex and neutral complex. First is cationic complex. Cationic complex is a complex in which complex ion carries positive charge, that is net positive charge is present on the complex ion. Whereas in case of anionic complex, net negative charge is present on the complex ion, and in case of neutral complex there is no net charge on the complex. So these are the examples of three types of complexes. Now next is difference between double salt and complex. So double salt as well as complexes are formed by the combination of two or more stable compounds in stoichiometric ratio. Whereas when we dissolve double salt in water, it will dissociate into simpler substances or into its respective ions. So here are the differences between double salt and complex compound. First difference is double salt, they usually contain two simple salts in equimolar proportions. Whereas in case of complex compound, the simple salts from which they are formed may or may not be in equimolar proportions. So in double salt, two simple salts are present in equimolar proportion, whereas in case of complex compound, they may or may not be in equimolar proportions. Second difference is double salt, they exist in solid state, and in aqueous solution they dissociate completely into ions. This is the example of double salt. When it is dissolved in water, it dissociates completely into respective ions, that is K positive, Cl negative, Mg+2 and 6 water molecules. Whereas in case of complex compound, they exist in the solid state as well as in aqueous solution, and in aqueous solution they do not completely dissociate. So this is the example of complex compound. When it dissolves in water, it will give K positive and this complex, and this complex further does not dissociate to give Fe+2 and cyanide ion. Next difference is double salts, they are ionic compounds and do not contain any coordinate bond. Whereas in case of complex compound, they may or may not be ionic, but the complex part always contain coordinate bond. That is, this is the complex part in this compound, and here 6 cyanide ions attached to iron via coordinate bonds. That is, this complex part always contain coordinate bond. So here are the examples of double salt: carnallite, Mohr salt, potash alum, and here we have some examples of complex compounds. So this is all about double salt and complex compound. Next topic is definition of some important terms pertaining to coordination compounds. First is coordination entity. It constitutes a central metal atom or ion bonded to a fixed number of ions or molecules. That is, in coordination entity we have central atom, and that central atom is bonded to a fixed number of ions or molecules. So here one example is given. So it is the coordination compound of cobalt. Here 3 ammonia molecules and 3 chloride ions are attached to cobalt. Second term is central atom or central ion. So central atom or central ion is defined as the atom or ion to which a fixed number of ions or groups are bound in a definite geometrical arrangement. So here examples are given. In first example, the central atom is nickel, around which 2 chloride ions and 4 water molecules are fixed, and therefore these are giving a definite geometry to the central atom, that is nickel. And these central atoms are also referred as Lewis acid because they accept electrons from these ions or neutral molecules, and that is why they are also known as Lewis acids. Next term is ligands. So ligands are defined as the ions or molecules bound to the central atom or central ion in a coordination entity are called ligands. Example, here chloride ions and water molecules are attached to nickel via coordinate bond. So here total 6 molecules are there, and therefore these are known as ligands, that is the ions or molecules bound to the central atom. So here in first case 2 chloride ions and 4 water molecules are attached to the central atom, that is nickel. So these are termed as ligands. In second example, 6 ammonia molecules are attached to cobalt, and therefore these ammonia molecules are termed as ligands. Now fourth term is coordination number. Coordination number is defined as the number of ligand donor atoms to which the metal is directly bonded. So here is the coordination compound of platinum, that is PtCl62-. Here 6 chloride ions are directly attached to platinum, and therefore the coordination number of platinum is 6 in this case. So coordination number is the number of ligands donor atoms to which the metal is directly bonded. Next term is coordination sphere. So coordination sphere is the central atom or ion and the ligands attached to it are enclosed in a square bracket. These square brackets, these are known as coordination sphere. Next term is coordination polyhedron. So coordination polyhedron is spatial arrangement of ligand atoms which are directly attached to the central atom. That is, coordination polyhedron provides the spatial arrangement of ligand around the central metal atom or central ion. So here we have different type of coordination polyhedron. Octahedral, example is CONH363 positive. Next is tetrahedral, square planar, trigonal bipyramidal and square pyramidal. Out of these coordination polyhedron, octahedral, tetrahedral and square planar are the most common coordination polyhedron. Next term is oxidation number. Oxidation number of the central atom in a complex is defined as the charge it would carry if all the ligands are removed along with the electron pairs that are shared with the central atom. For example, this is the coordination complex, and in this complex if we want to calculate the oxidation number of copper, so the oxidation number of copper is assumed to be X plus. Now here we have cyanide ions. One cyanide ion constitutes 1 unit negative charge. So here 4 cyanide ions, so 4 into -1, and the overall charge on the coordination complex is -3. So it will be equals to minus 3. So from here the oxidation number of copper comes out to be +1. Next there is one more type of term, that is homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. So first is homoleptic complexes. Homoleptic complexes are those in which metal is bound to only one kind of donor groups, or you can say that only one kind of donor ligands. Example is CONH363+. This is the complex of cobalt where 6 ammonia molecules are attached to cobalt via coordinate bond. And in this complex there is only one kind of donor ligand, that is ammonia molecule. That is why it is homoleptic complexes. So homoleptic complex Homoleptic complexes are those in which metal is bound to only one kind of donor ligands, whereas in case of heteroleptic complexes in which a metal is bound to more than one kind of donor groups, that is, in case of heteroleptic complexes, more than one kind of donor groups are present. Example is, this is the complex of cobalt where ammonia molecules and chloride ions are attached to cobalt. Now, in this case, two donor groups are there, two kind of donor groups are there. That is why this is heteroleptic complex. So in homoleptic, we have only one kind of donor groups, and in heteroleptic complexes, we have more than one kind of donor groups. So these are the basic terms in coordination compounds which we are going to use in this chapter. Now next is ligand and its types. As we have discussed that ligands are the ions or molecules bound to the central atom in a coordination entity are called ligands, and these ligands, they may be simple ions such as chloride ions, small molecules like water or ammonia, and large molecules such as NH2, CH2, CH2, NH2, that is ethane 1,2-diamine. So these are the ligands. They may be simple ions, small molecules, or they can also be large molecules. Now first is, what are unidentate ligands? Unidentate ligands are defined as when a ligand is bound to a metal ion through a single donor atom. That is, when ligand is bound to metal through a single donor atom, that is unidentate ligand, and the examples are chloride, water, ammonia. Next is didentate ligand. When a ligand can bind through two donor atoms, that is known as didentate ligand. These are the two examples of didentate ligands. Here in ethane 1,2-diamine, it has two donating sites, that is, it can donate through these two nitrogen atoms. Similarly, in case of oxalate, it can donate through these two oxygen. That is why these are didentate ligands. Now next is polydentate ligands. In case of polydentate ligands, when several donor atoms are present in a single ligand, that is known as polydentate ligands. Example is EDTA4 negative. It is a hexadentate ligand and it can donate through 4 oxygen atom and 2 nitrogen atom. Now next is chelate ligands. When a di or a polydentate ligand uses its 2 or more donor atoms to bind a single metal ion, then it is said to be chelate ligand. And such complexes are chelate complexes, and they are more stable than similar complexes contain unidentate ligands. So here is the complex of platinum PtCl2En. This En is a didentate ligand, and when it binds to the central atom, that is to platinum, it forms a 5-membered ring. So when a didentate or a polydentate ligands bound to metal in such a way that 5 or 6-membered ring is formed with metal ion, that ring is known as chelate ring, and the resulting complex is chelate, and this property is known as chelation. And these type of complexes are more stable. So chelating ligand is defined as when a di or a polydentate ligand uses its 2 or more donor atoms to bind a single metal ion and forms a stable 5 or 6-membered ring, then that is known as chelate ligand. So here is one example. FeC2O4 thrice 3 negative is more stable than FeH2O6 thrice 3 positive. So here the central atom is iron, and in this case we have didentate ligand, and here is unidentate ligand, because water is unidentate ligand, it can donate through oxygen. So this complex is more stable than this complex because C2O4, that is oxalate, which is a didentate ligand, and it forms chelate ring with iron. That is why it is more stable than this complex. Now we have one more type of ligand, that is ambidentate ligand. Now what are ambidentate ligands? Ambidentate ligands are monodentate ligands, but they can ligate through 2 different atoms, and that is called ambidentate ligand. Example is NO2 negative, SCN negative. Now in case of NO2 negative, it can coordinate through nitrogen as well as it can coordinate through oxygen. But at a time it can coordinate either with nitrogen or with oxygen. Now if this NO2 it can coordinate through nitrogen with metal, it is known as nitrito N, and when it coordinates with metal through oxygen, then it is termed as nitrito O. Now in case of SCN negative, when it coordinates with metal through sulfur side, that is known as thiocyanate, and when it coordinates with nitrogen side, then it is known as isothiocyanate. So this is all about ligand and its types. Now next is Werner theory of coordination compounds. Alfred Werner, a Swiss chemist, was the first to study the bonding in coordination compounds in 1892. He obtained a large number of complexes formed from the reaction of cobalt chloride with ammonia. Here are the products from the reaction of cobalt chloride with ammonia, and it was observed that on treatment with excess of silver nitrate, all the chloride ions were precipitated as silver chloride in case of first compound. So here is the moles of AgCl formed from 1 mole of compound, that is when 1 mole of these compounds are treated with AgNO3. So here are the moles of silver chloride precipitated, that is in case of first compound 3 moles of AgCl were precipitated. In case of second compound, 2 moles of AgCl were precipitated, and in case of third and fourth compound, 1 mole of AgCl was precipitated. And here are the colors of 4 compounds. And the conductivities of solution of 4 compounds were also found to be different, which shows that number of ions produced in the solution from these compounds were not same. That is, in solution, first compound it produces 4 ions, whereas second compound it gave 3 ions, and third and fourth compound gave 2 ions in solution. And these are the formulas for these 4 compounds. So from here he explained 2 terms, primary valency and secondary valency. That is, in simple compounds like cobalt chloride, valency of cobalt is 3, and this he termed as primary valency. And the part which is enclosed in the bracket in these formulas, that is in first case it is cobalt NH36, and in second case cobalt NH35 Cl, in third it is CONH34 Cl2. So the part which are enclosed in the square bracket, and this part is non-ionizable, and he termed as secondary valencies. That is, in each of these formula the secondary valency is fixed, that is 6. 6 is the secondary valency in each of these formula. And he studied the properties of many other such compounds in detail, and based on these properties he proposed a theory about the nature of bonding in coordination compound. So here are the postulates of Werner's theory of coordination compounds. First postulate is metal possesses 2 types of valencies, that is primary valency, which is also known as ionizable valency, and the secondary valency, which is known as non-ionizable valency. So first is, what is primary valency? Primary valencies are those which a metal exhibit in the formation of its simple salts. For example, cobalt chloride, silver chloride. In these 2 cases, the primary valency of cobalt is 3 and the primary valency of silver is 1. So primary valency is that which a metal exhibit in the formation of its simple salts. Now next is secondary valency. Secondary valency is number of groups bound directly to metal ion. And every metal cation has a fixed number of secondary valencies. So here is the example, CONH36Cl3. So 6 ammonia molecules are directly bound to this cobalt metal, and that is why the secondary valency in this case is 6. And secondary valency is also termed as coordination number. Second postulate of Werner's theory is every metal has a tendency to satisfy both its primary valency and secondary valencies. primary valencies are satisfied by negative ions, whereas secondary valencies are satisfied by negative ions or neutral molecules. Just as in this example, primary valency it is satisfied by chloride ions and secondary valency is satisfied by neutral ammonia molecules. Third postulate is the ligand satisfying secondary valencies are always directed towards fixed position in space and giving definite geometry to the complex. That is, secondary valencies determines the geometry of the complex. And primary valencies are non-directional and ionizable, and primary valencies also referred as oxidation state. So in a coordination complex, this is the structure of coordination complex where M represents central metal atom, L represents ligand, and this N represents coordination number of the central atom, X represents counter ion, and these square brackets represent coordination sphere. This counter ion does not define the coordination number. Coordination number is given by the number of ions or neutral molecules which are directly attached to the metal atom, that is central metal atom. So here is the determination of structure of a complex on the basis of Werner theory. This is the first structure, that is CONH36Cl3. Now these 3 chloride ions, they will satisfy primary valency, and these 6 ammonia molecules, they will satisfy secondary valency. So these dotted lines represent primary valencies and these 6 ammonia molecules, they will satisfy secondary valency. Now in second case, CONH35Cl2. Now these Cl2, they contribute to primary valencies, and this one chloride ion which is inside this bracket, it satisfies both primary valency as well as secondary valency. So this dot and the solid line represents primary valency and secondary valency. So in this complex, the one chloride ion satisfy both primary and secondary valencies. And octahedral, tetrahedral and square planar geometrical shapes are most common in coordination compounds. Here are some important points of Werner's theory. First point is the complex compound do not retain any of the properties of the central metal ion or of ligands. For example, this is the complex CONH36Cl3. Now, the solution of this complex does not give any reaction of cobalt ion or NH3. However, it gives the reaction of Cl negative ions which have not entered into the complex formation. That is, addition of silver nitrate will precipitate all the chloride ions which are present as counter ions. Next point is the chloride ions which enters into coordination sphere loses their ionic character. So here are two complexes. First is CONH36Cl3 and second is CONH35Cl2. So when AgNO3 is added to both the complexes, in first case 3 moles of AgCl are precipitated, but in this case 2 moles of AgCl are precipitated, because in second complex one chloride ion enters the coordination sphere and after enters to the coordination sphere, it will not give the reaction of chloride. That is why in second complex only 2 chloride ions are present as counter ion. That is why it gives 2 moles of AgCl when AgNO3 is added to this complex. So the chloride ion which enters into the coordination sphere, they lose their ionic character. So these are the important points of Werner theory. In the next lecture, I will discuss the nomenclature of coordination compounds. So after doing this, you can solve NCERT exercise question number 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4 and 9.5. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe this channel.